Hey, Alex, can I borrow your lipstick?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Let me pull it out of my tit.
All right. This is Emily and Alex coming at you with another episode of Gag Me with a Knife. We're going to be talking about 1988's Night of the Demons. Is that the year?
That's the year.
Okay, good. All right. So I have the VHS again, and I'll be reading the back of the box. It's Halloween night, and a group of good time teens has broken into an abandoned funeral parlor with plans to raise a little hell. And that's exactly what they do. For their intrusion has awakened an ancient demonic evil whose hunger for human souls knows no bounds. And now the monstrous predator is out to turn their Halloween party into an unending celebration of sheer terror. The visual sorcery of special effects master Steve Johnson from Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Fright Night, Poltergeist 2, and Ghostbusters delivers high-voltage shivers in a terrifying encounter of the supernatural kind. So be prepared for an evening of horror that you'll never forget. Get ready for the Night of the Demons. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think this is a movie that I really have always wanted to love. And no matter how much that I can't love it like I want to, I still continue to watch it over and over. There's certain parts of it that I just I can't get into. It's kind of slow for me, but what I love about it is how they do sort of mesh up the supernatural with a slasher. I think that was really cool, and they did that well. I think it takes a really long time to get into the movie. And then I do think the kills are pretty cool, and I like some of the characters, and then the ones that die, I love cheering on their death. So, all of that said, I mean, this is definitely a higher, more, positive review, even though I don't love it. What about you?
Yeah, I probably like it more than you do, and I've watched it a lot. But I do agree that it drags at the beginning, especially. Like, it takes a really long time to get anything going. It takes I feel like 45 minutes at least.
At least.
Yeah. And I usually like those scenes. I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff. Like, I like when they're just hanging out and stuff like that. But for some reason, it doesn't really work in this one. Maybe it's just because it goes on for too long. And it might have to do with something I think I saw the second one before I saw this one.
Yeah. And the way that the movie opens up, it's like a little cartoony opening with like this total synthy Carpenter ripoff of a bop. I mean, whatever. They're all doing it at this point, these synthesized musical intros. But the way that the opening scene makes you think it's going to be a little, maybe even more campy than it is, because it's not really overly campy in my opinion, but I was hoping for a little, but usually with campy, it's more fast paced. So it starts off, the first 15 to 20 minutes or so is pretty solid. But then once they get into this, into the setting of the movie, it just kind of like they're in this room, then they're in this room, then they're dancing here, then they're dancing there. And then it's just sort of repetitive and slow once they're there. And then the fact that it's just like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, it's very quiet, and which makes sense. I mean, they're in an abandoned building, but that ambiance adds to the slowness to me of the pace.
Yeah, I think that once it gets going, it doesn't really stop, but it doesn't really start either, if that makes sense. Like, it starts and then it's just like, okay, all right. And then you're kind of confused as to what's happening especially near the beginning. Like, okay, well, is that a demon or is it not? Like, I don't know. It's like, but I really like this movie, so I don't know.
Yeah, I do like it. I just can't love it. And then, yeah, but when you said the beginning confused you, I thought maybe you were confused because the old man was an asshole at the beginning with razor blades and apples. And you're like, well, we'll get to it, but you spend the whole movie being like, who's this douchebag? Or what's his deal? And like, what does this have to do with the movie? I guess just to show, like, the one girl, Judy, is basically, she's nice. She's going to be the final girl. You can just tell in minutes who the final girl is going to be. And then the other people are assholes. And you're like, okay, well, they're going to deserve to die. They're probably going to die. So I guess maybe they're setting up some character development with this old man at the beginning, but
I guess, or they're just planning for the end. I don't know.
yeah, there is a lot of good character introductions, and like I only like maybe 2 or 3 of the characters in the movie. I thought I was gonna like Jay, Judy's love interest boyfriend.
Awful.
Yeah, because when we first meet him, he's real sweet. He's a total babe on the eyes. And, he's handling her brother, who's going to grow up to be the whiniest douchebag I've ever seen, probably.
Yeah.
But then when the mom's giving him those treats that look like litter box droppings, but then, the movie advances and boys will be boys, I guess. And he just ruins it for himself and all of the men out there.
Yeah, and then we have the girl that's plays Arab in Sleepaway Camp 3, and she's in this movie. And she's like, just basically, she doesn't seem like she should be boring, but she is always pretty boring.
Yeah, like she seems like she should be very animated. Like she has some really good quotes, and she's gorgeous, and she just seems like she should be more fun than she is in both of these movies. I think her name's Jill Terashita.
Yeah, I think so.
But I like her better in Sleepaway Camp. I think I like her sassy, witty, bitchy personality a little bit better. The only thing she's got really going in this for me is, isn't it her that has sex in the coffin, or is it somebody else?
I think so. I think it's her.
That was pretty rad. That's pretty bad to the bone.
But I do like that you end up liking Sal and you don't like him at first.
Because he was the ex-boyfriend that crashes the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
I do like that kind of twist when you aren't supposed to like somebody, then you do. I do like that.
Oh, Sal. Yeah, we'll get to Sal. We'll get to Sal.
So,
and we got to talk about another introduction to a character. When we first meet Angela, she's holding this huge sack and dressed like the undead bride from hell, about to rob this grocery store blind or convenience store.
Yeah, this is your introduction into a famous villain in horror movies.
But what's funny to me is when I was watching this, I made my husband watch this a while back. I think he'd seen it like back when it was, a new movie and whatnot. But he hadn't seen it recently, and he said, "Well, I like Angela. She knows what's going on," because she was grabbing plates and napkins. I mean, she was glad. My husband's real big into cleaning and keeping everything tidy. So it was real funny because I would not be. Most teenagers wouldn't be grabbing cleaning essentials and servingware. They'd be grabbing booze and food and candy and stuff. So it was just pretty funny. So at least there you're maybe, I don't know if that's supposed to be a glimpse into who she is or not, but right before we see Angela, who do we see?
Stooge, probably. Do you see Stooge
in
this?
in the convenience store.
Oh, Linnea Quigley's character.
Yeah, she's pretty iconic.
Suzanne, is her name Suzanne?
Yeah, that's it.
She's it starts off with you seeing her butt, right?
Well, a little. You can.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah.
You see some curvature, some cleavage going on down there.
Yeah. So that's the famous Linnea Quigley from a bunch of horror movies. She is Trash and Return of the Living Dead. So, and she was way too old to play this role. So, but they still wanted her in it. I think they wrote the role for her.
After Trash.
Yeah.
After
after Return of the Living Dead. So. Yeah, we get to see her, and she's going to make a big impression in the movie. So, yeah. So, okay, when do you meet Stu and the two characters I forget about all the time? The black guy and the white girl. I don't remember them. Is it Stu? Is Stu his name?
Stu. There's the
fat guy.
Oh, Stooge.
Stooge, yeah.
Stooge. I was like, Stooge. I was like, that sounds familiar. Stooge. You see Stooge at the very beginning, basically driving that car.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got oh, God. And he just crushes his outfit with a pig nose. And then, his hair, which, it's almost shaved or cornrows on one side, and it alternates colors, like red and blue or something. I don't even know what pig he's supposed to be. I don't understand.
80s.
Ugh,
Yeah, he's with Helen and Roger.
Yeah, Helen and Roger.
Yeah. Okay, and then
I don't think we don't like them at all. I wasn't when Stooge, Helen, died. Did Roger die?
No, he lives there for a pretty long time.
I don't know that we see him die. I think Roger.
No, I think he lives.
Yeah, I think Roger.
Him and Judy walk home together.
That's right, right. But see, I think Roger and Judy are the survivors.
which is actually pretty progressive for the 80s, honestly.
Yeah, and then it's also sort of in line. I mean, I've read this a while back, and I don't totally know all the stuff on it, but they compared this to Romero zombie movies a few times.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but
Well, with when they die, they come back. There's actually one of the tombstones, they come back as possessed. One of the tombstones near the end, there's like Romero's on the tombstone. And then the black guy is surviving. Well, he doesn't really survive, not in the Living Dead, but
Dawn of the Dead he does, yeah.
yeah, but it's like there's like these small little tribute homages that I've read that had this kind of this Romero influence, but it's not heavy. It's not heavy at all. And it might be made up in my mind, but in other people's, stuff. But anyway, I did like that with Roger.
Yeah, well, yeah, because usually of the black character should die or not should, but always does die at the beginning.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah. So we have some really good deaths though, and I do love the eye gouging of that Linnea Quigley does.
Yes, God.
That's what he gets.
So that's the fourth death. So like, do you want to do the deaths in order, or do you want to do favorite deaths, or how do you want to do this?
Why don't you talk about the deaths, and I'll tell you my favorite one, which I think that was it.
Well, so I guess our first death is Suzanne. Technically, I mean, when she gets possessed, does she die after she's possessed too, or?
I don't think so. She just doesn't she like make out with Angela after that?
She does make out with Angela. So after the mirror breaks, after the seance, because again, everyone's into seances and dream imagery here. After the seance and the glass breaks in the mirror, then Suzanne's possessed. Then, like, she forces herself onto Angela, then making her possessed with her tongue. I
wouldn't say she's dead yet. I mean,
I wouldn't say she's dead yet, but when she dies before Angela kills Stooge, Suzanne dies. I mean, when we see her put the lipstick in her tits is before Stooge dies too, so she has to be dead.
Well, she is technically, I guess, but she's never killed, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, true. Well, yeah, I got you. So yeah, she's possessed by demons, and then like, what do you want to talk about her and her lipstick?
Her lipstick?
Everything about them.
Oh, I mean, it's a famous scene. But I was telling Alex this last time we were talking about this movie. I was like, I always thought that it happened like earlier or later. I never could find the right time that it happened in the movie. But I think that's also because I saw the second one first. So.
Right. And yeah, and then like the whole drawing on the face with the lipstick and drawing on her boobs and everything, like I know it's nothing like it, but the way that she looks, and I guess because she is a little older for her character, it gave me possessed monster vibes or whatever from Evil Dead, the way they look so old and because like it just, she gave off that vibe. She played a possessed character very well, I thought. So I really loved her. Okay, so I guess then this is, we're about almost an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and we don't have a kill yet. But I mean, I guess you can, yeah.
Well, our first kill actually is probably Angela tearing up the fucking dance floor. I mean, let's go here. Let's give it to her.
She killed the dance floor, yes.
She is killing that disco.
She is dancing to Bauhaus, isn't she?
She's what?
She's dancing to Bauhaus, I think.
I think so. Yeah. And then Stooge kind of walks in like right after she's doing her little dancing thing, and she's all like, "Come here, big boy." First of all, when someone as you look like Stooge, as someone like Angela, and you're in your teens, like she gonna kill you. You don't come at her, especially when you got a pig nose on your face. Like,
yeah, you don't expect that's like that you can get that.
God. But anyway, so then you want to talk about what happens to Stooge?
Well, I mean, she like bite off his tongue.
Yeah, it rips out his tongue after she's making out.
Well, he should have known. He's not cute enough for her, so like clearly.
I mean, that doesn't always matter, but for teenagers, that's a pretty big sign, right?
And then she gouges his eyes out, so that seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, Angela's a boss, and I love her.
Yeah. So
I guess the next kill, do we really even see it? It's Helen, and she gets thrown onto the car.
Well, it doesn't say that that's the next one. It says that it's Max and Franny having sex in the coffin is the next one.
That's weird. I thought they died after Jay died.
I thought so too, but I guess not.
Maybe not. Okay, yeah, Max and Franny in the coffin. That would make sense.
I thought I knew Max from somewhere, like the guy that played Max. Like I thought he was on like Hey Dude or something, but I couldn't find him on anything.
We think everyone's in Hey Dude, I think.
I know, it's true.
Yeah, so having sex in a coffin when you're in a mortuary or a funeral home or whatever you want to call this, it's a pretty
Probably
much
bad luck.
it's bad luck, but like someone's got to do it. I think any group of friends would have that one couple that's gonna fuck in a coffin.
Really?
I do. I mean, I wouldn't even be in that place. Like I talk a big game, but I ain't going to those things. I mean, I wouldn't even go.
Really, I couldn't have gotten you to go.
No, you barely got me to go to that damn cemetery in your backyard from your farmers from lifetimes past.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, she's got like 3 or 4 or 5 dead bodies in her backyard with headstones from like the 1810s or something.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Come back and eat us. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Max and Franny having sex, and I guess Franny gets diced first. I guess she gets her neck snapped, right? She's riding him and gets her neck snapped.
Yeah.
And then Max starts just getting basically bludgeoned with the coffin lid in his head and body. That was pretty savage. But you know what? I just didn't like, I think Stooge is one of the only people that I guess Suzanne too. Never mind. Stooge and Suzanne both have a kill, I think. And then everybody else Angela kills. Sort of. Yeah.
And and some of them you're like, well, did they kill them or I don't know. It's like, there's a blurry line between, are you like a demon or are you a murderer or in what point of your transition did you become a murderer? I don't know. It just gets.
And I think that they die, but they come back as these demons because this possessed or haunted mortuary or whatever's going on.
Yeah, I guess they're a lot like zombies.
Yeah, they come back just as demon zombie things. Yeah. Oh, and we neglected to say at this point in the movie, which is with Stooge's death. So the movie starts when we see Angela in the convenience store and she's wearing these cross earrings. But at this point,
they turned upside down.
They're upside down. I actually didn't notice that until 2 weeks ago when I watched this about 2 weeks ago. I was like, I thought that it was a goof that her earrings had slipped, but then I realized that's probably on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, in the thing it says, as Sal becomes horrified when he sees Angela putting her hands in the fire, Roger, who has fallen asleep, is awoken from Helen's body crashing on the car. So yeah, that's all right after Max and Franny.
So yeah, so we don't see Angela kill Helen, I don't think, but she threw her out the window or something onto the car.
I guess. Or no, I don't even think it was Angela because Angela is inside putting her hand in the fire. So it's probably Stooge or Suzanne.
Right. Putting her hand in the fire, a normal thing to do.
Yeah. And Sal's just watching it. Because I think he was watching her dance first, and then she was like, never mind, I'm going to do this creepy thing. Yeah,
he was in the doorway watching her dance.
Yeah, and then he was like, fuck this, when he sees her do that.
Is he might be the next one to die. Maybe he gets thrown out the window.
He doesn't die till the end.
But he's the next one, but no one else dies until him, I don't think. Jay's already died. Fran and Max are dead. Helen's dead. Stooge is dead.
No, Jay's not dead yet.
Oh, well, he's dying next.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't think he's... Wait, no, he is dead. He dies right before Max and Franny, sorry.
See, look at this. Yes. That's the whole point. That's why it's so confusing. Nothing happens, and then everything happens.
And then everything happens at once, and then nothing happens again for a long time. Because you have a really long time where they're trying to... they're running away from Angela because, yeah, when he sees her put the hand in the fire, he gets really scared, and then Roger is what wakes up, and so those two free Judy, but I don't really remember where she had been held.
Where was Judy?
Right. Jay abandoned her.
Oh, because she wouldn't have sex with him.
Yeah, and then she got locked in.
And that's then why he's with Suzanne.
Right.
For the sex. Yeah, walking in. First of all, bro tip, if I ever walked into a room and saw some girl with her boobs out, I mean, I guess I'd just fuck her because that's what guys do. But if she was covered with lipstick, I'd be like, you're a little drunk. But then I guess some guys are still thinking I'm gonna smash. I don't know what's going through his mind.
Some guys
where,
are
like,
still thinking that it's nuts.
to where like this on a splintery floor, you're gonna get splinters on you, on her, on your wing wang. Like, I just don't understand what anything about having sex in this situation is okay.
Because guys are dumb.
But he gets his eyes gouged out and sits there and cries, and
then everything basically happens.
Everything's all at once, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they're like hiding and running away from her for a really long time. And then she attempts to climb down and Angela tries to kill her, but Sal appears and they both fight. And they're on the roof at that point, I think. And that's when Sal dies. He gets impaled on a spike.
Yeah, she throws him either over the roof or out the window.
I think it's off the roof.
And he lands on a spike.
Yeah. So then it's just Judy and Roger like running around. Then they find the crematorium. And then so she goes in there and then they like are smart enough to use the gas in there, I guess, which, I mean, that's like putting a lot on these characters, honestly. Well, I think it is. That's a lot. I mean, like.
Yeah. Like, they literally have to like aim the pipe with the gas and do all the shit with it. Like, that's a lot. I wouldn't think
Who would think to do that? I wouldn't. No.
I wouldn't either.
So then you're like, okay, cool. Then they escape again, but then they're cornered by the demon, and then the demon. Sorry. They already
torched Angela, didn't they?
Well, Angela has been burned, but she's back and she's burned.
Okay. Yeah.
She comes back though, and then all of her undead friends. And Roger smashes through a window and leads them outside, and they begin to climb up a wall. And that's when, I don't know if you learn this in this one. Do you? That if you get over, I'm sure you do. I guess if you go over the moat or whatever, like the water, then you're free.
See, I don't know if they knew that in this one, or they knew it in the remake, or they knew it in the sequel.
They know it in the sequel. I mean, I know they know it for sure in the sequel.
I don't think that they knew it in the first one. I just thought they were just trying to escape. I don't know, because I don't know that they actually knew what was really happening. Did they? Like the lore of this possessed crematorium place?
Well, I don't think there was any lore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Besides that it was an old funeral home.
I think they were just trying to escape. I think we learned about the moat thing or whatever in the next one.
Okay, because in part 2 you do learn it, because that's how they get out past the houses, because she takes that mirror outside of the
the compact or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So then you have this weird ending, because they pass by that gross old man, and he's shockingly still an asshole. Oh, so
we missed what happened. You didn't say what happens after they cross the barbed wire.
Well, they just live?
Well, they live, but what happens to everybody else?
Oh, they're banished to hell.
They get burnt. The sun.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like they're still alive, though.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I mean, the bodies are probably dead, but then I'm sure the spirits went back to hell because they come back clearly. But the bodies are most of the bodies are toast.
So they walk home, and they pass by the old guy. And he's like gross, and I don't know if he's supposed to, like, he's like really awful. So I assume that he thinks like the worst about them. He enters his home to eat one of his wife's homemade pies, only to realize too late she used the apples that he placed the razor blades in, because he's a huge asshole.
He is a huge asshole.
I mean, who does that? I mean, who does that?
But how would you like? And are you thinking? Is it on purpose for the wife? Because she ends up saying, "Happy Halloween, dear."
Yeah.
And she kisses his dead body. Like, she's not even phased.
Yeah, she's totally.
Because I'm about to say, if I was making an apple pie and I was cutting them up, I would realize there were goddamn razors in them.
Oh, no, she did that on purpose.
Oh, heavens to Betsy. I need new apples. I'm just
Yeah, she did that on purpose.
I love it. It was it was pretty graphic. Killing
her. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like that ending, but also I feel like it's really misplaced. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole movie feels really misplaced.
Yeah, it does, and I definitely like it more after seeing the second one and looking back on the first one, I should say, and seeing it as a connected story. But as a solo film, it is out of place, but it became a cult classic for a reason. So
Yeah, and I feel like maybe, like I said, maybe I have the opinion that I do about it because I saw the second one first. And I listen, most people don't like. It's not like this. The second one's this movie that everyone loves because it's not.
it's not at all. Yeah.
But at all, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, like I really like the second one, but it does give a lot more context in the movie. So, but I don't know. Whole House was supposed to be like haunted and stuff. So I don't know how much information I'm bringing from the second one into the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. Because they're in the same place in the second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't, yeah. But I mean, and so I do have some trivia on it, which does have to do with how you were talking about how it became a cult classic, because it was put out just in Detroit, apparently, at the beginning. And so the movie, it was only $1.2 million to make it, but it hit like Detroit and New York City and like I think probably Chicago, just some like very limited but like big city releases, and it made 3.109 just in those small cities. So they figured that if they had actually like put it out for real, then they would have made so much. I think the amount they would have made was like more than. It would have been one of the biggest hits of the 80s, like the movie would have if they had actually like put it out, but they only did like a limited release.
That's wild, and it's also wild to me that it cost as much as 1.2 million. Because I mean, in 1988, like these actors weren't really famous. I mean, I guess Linnea Quigley, Linnea Quigley, she was pretty famous, but 1.2 million just to use a building and like really not that much special effects. I don't know. That's a lot of money, I think.
Excuse me, sorry.
And especially to not be paying for marketing or distribution in other
think about
cities.
Well, MGM put it out, so I don't know where they got that, but think about it. They got this. They got Steve Johnson, who had done. When did Nightmare on Elm Street 4 come out?
Oh shoot. 84?
No, 84 is when the first one came out.
Oh, then the fourth one came out 4 years later. They came out it was 88.
Yeah, 88. So he came out the same year as this. And then he also did Fright Night, Poltergeist, Ghostbusters, and they had all come out before this. So
he's makeup and effects, right?
Yeah, so they paid him like quite a bit.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
That's not their only. That's not the only place they like spent money, but yeah, I mean those kind of costs, like 1.2 is not really that much when you think about those kind of costs, like not like the actual just not the actors that are in it, but like the other things.
Well, they certainly didn't waste any money hiring a professional dancing trainer for Angela.
No, she choreographed her own dance routine.
I mean, I can get drunk and turn circles.
But yeah, I know that's like, but here it is. They said that they thought people say it was projected to have earned $13 million domestically if it had opened on opening weekend, if they had, opened it worldwide, which would have ranked it amongst the top grossing horror films of its decade.
That's a freaking a lot of money for a horror movie in the 80s.
Yeah. And Amelia Kincaid, she did choreograph her own dance, which is obvious. But, I told you last night, and I'm telling everyone else this now, that she is Rue McClanahan's niece. And apparently, I guess, Blanche from Golden Girls. And I guess, like, they lived together during some of the time.
At Shady Pines?
Yes, at Shady Pines. But Rue McClanahan came and visited her on set, apparently.
Nice.
Can you imagine having Blanche show up on your movie set and be like, hey
girl, like, what's up? It's not Amelia on the cover of all three movies. It has Angela in demonic form. Yeah. But on the cover, she looks different every time. But every time, is it really Amelia Kincaid or is it some other actress?
I have no idea.
Or actor.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it really matters in this case because you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what it was, because like even looking back on,
I'm looking at the front of it right now, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you could tell if it even was. Probably not. It's probably not because I don't. She probably had someone else come in when she was the demon anyway.
On the first one, that's my favorite look of the favorite cover of her on there.
Anyway. Holding the invite.
Yeah, but the way that she looks reminds me a little bit of Embeth Davidtz from Army of Darkness when Sheila, when she turns into the undead bride of whatever. The way that she looks as this demon reminds me of that, and I like that.
Yeah. I think it probably is a different person on every cover because they do look different on every single one. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And okay, so Linnea Quigley ended up marrying the special effects guy, and they met on this movie. So they met when she went to get her boobs cast, like a fake cast done of her tits.
Oh, the ones that that wasn't her real tits that she put the lipstick inside.
No.
that freaks me out. Like poking holes in bodies and stuff like that. Like that really weirds me out. And then just to pop a piece of lipstick in your nipple, it was really disturbing. And she wiggles her finger around and stuff. It just really freaked me out.
Oh, it is. It is creepy. It's some good body horror there.
Nothing ever comes out of her hoo-ha or nipples, does it? Like a snake or a dragon?
No,
or something?
I think you're thinking of the snake in the second one.
Oh, okay. That would be cool if she puts this lipstick in her nipples and then like this dragon demon comes out of her hoo-ha and like burns somebody. That would have been pretty epic.
So, okay. Also, I saw that the actress that played Judy, she quit her job when she got cast as this role. So
what was her job?
She was just a waitress, but I mean, still, like I don't know why it's on here as like a piece of trivia, maybe because it's like she shouldn't have or something.
Well, or I mean, they probably wouldn't, as a waitress, they probably wouldn't have allowed her to like, hey, I need some time off to go like make a movie, and they'd be like,
but isn't that the whole point of being a waitress in Los Angeles?
Well, that is. Oh, yeah, they were in L.A. Well,
I mean, I don't know, but
that is a huge point. But like, even today, it's like 10 feet of snow in the road. Managers are like, "Hey, you coming in?" You're like, "No, I'm making a movie, and I'm."
That also, Hal Havens, the guy that played Stooge, he refused to show his posterior in the mooning scene, like when he moons people.
Well, I wish that we hadn't seen that.
No, I don't think it's his ass.
Well, I wish we hadn't seen that ass at all.
That's true. Whose ever it was, sorry, we didn't like it. So the house used as the main location was eventually demolished and subsequently replaced by a Ralph's supermarket.
Oh, I want to go to that. I wonder if it's still open. Like, I don't know what a Ralph's is.
I don't know. I don't know either. And I don't know where it is. We don't even know. We don't know anything about it.
Why would you name a place that sells food Ralph's?
Well, it's a supermarket, so.
But it sells food, and Ralphing is like puking. Like.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
You want to go to Ralph's and Ralph? I don't know. Yeah,
I want to find like where they filmed it, but I don't know. If y'all know, let us know. Then okay, so Linnea Quigley also said that. So I said already earlier that she had kind of like they really wanted her for this movie, and then she was like no, because she thought she was too old, and it wouldn't be convincing, and then. Her agent finally got her to come in and read for it, and then she got cast immediately. So she said that she said she was asked if she had ever been in an audience of fans and just watched their reactions to one of her films. And she said, I have, and it's really fun. So she said that when she went to see this movie, she was like looking around and everything, but in the first scene, it's like just her ass and her vagina, basically. And then she was like, oh God, no. And she was a little bit embarrassed, but I was like, so like, really you were, because you were in like nudie, like she had been nude in a bunch of shit before that. Also, like Return of the Living Dead, she's completely full frontal nude. So,
but seeing it and seeing other people's reactions to a freaking drive-in, like a jumbo screen with your jumbo cooch just on the wall, like that, it's like bigger than a car up on the wall.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, she didn't have anything to be ashamed of there. But it would be odd when you're doing your sexy times and then to like see people's reactions to that. I don't know what that's like. I'll start an OnlyFans and I'll let y'all know.
Oh God. So, according to the writer, the original script contained a gay couple and an interracial kiss, but was deemed too radical by some of the producers as well as the director. So.
That was too. So it's cool that we've come a long way because that seems too radical, but shoving lipstick in your tits isn't.
No, yeah. And originally it was titled Halloween Party. So yeah, this is probably but yeah.
And if it had still been Halloween Party, that opening music, the blatant 80s
I
Carpenter
love
ripoff.
that 80s music at the
I
beginning.
love it, but calling it Halloween Party and the theme song, like,
Yeah, I would have thought it was a kids movie,
yeah.
probably. Um, so, and apparently the house that we were talking about, they got rid of and have a Ralph's there now. So it had little dressing done to it as it was in pretty bad shape at the time. And many of the items, furniture, and decor was authentic to the original building, which then reminded me of Mother's Day because I was like, what's the movie where they found a dead body in the house beforehand? It was Mother's Day, not this one, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which then I wanted to learn more about that because apparently, going back to that real quick, there was a dead body that they found in the house, but also that house had been the same house where the owner had been murdered in it 15 years earlier and no one had lived in it since then. But then they found another dead body in it when they went into film.
Which one was this? Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Creepy. Like, there's got to be other houses to use in the woods that look just as run down.
Yeah, I know.
Not ones that have dead bodies and probably murders in it. But hey, let's just add to the ambiance.
Yeah, that's true. And that house was creepy. So
And there weren't dead bodies in this, but there probably were, ashy remains of multiple dead bodies since it's a crematorium.
Well, I don't think it was a crematorium.
Oh, well, that's not what it was.
I don't think so. I mean, it is in the movie, but I don't think it was in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's about all I have on. I know that when she was burning her hands, they had to have an ice bucket right there to just extinguish the liquid and fire in her hands. So because she had something on over her hands that would light on fire, but she only had a certain amount of time, and then she'd have to hurry and put her hands in there, or her hands would burn.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like, that seems a little bit too close to call for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know it would look better, and it did look better than like CGI and stuff like that. And I love like real effects like this, but some of the things that actors had to go through, and they weren't like stunt doubles. That's what they chose these risks. They chose being stunt doubles and stuff like that. The things that they had to go through, it's a little above my pay grade as an actor.
Yeah,
but it made it better. It made it way better.
Yeah, it did, but yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. You can forget that.
Not at all.
So, I think I give this movie though, like a 3. Okay, when I'm just thinking about watching it before I put it on, it's probably like a 3.5 out of 5. But then when I actually put it on and I'm like, oh, it's this, and I realize I'm going to be watching that for an hour and a half again, it's probably a 3.
I actually can agree with that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like exciting when you're like, okay, yeah, I want to watch this, and then you put it on, you're like, oh yeah, I watched.
And then by the time of the coffin sex scene, I'm kind of like, it's either the coffin sex scene or it's Angela dancing. I usually end up pausing it for some reason, and then I just never come back.
Yeah, there's that. This is one of those movies where I will start it. I've started this movie so many times. Like I'll start it like 25 times a year or something. I'll finish it once a year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good. I don't know. Like, again, like I don't dislike it because even though I don't always finish it, it's still probably a solid 3.
Yeah, it is, but it's just,
I want it to be a 3.5 or a 4, but it's always a 3.
Yeah, I want it, but I think it like has the potential of being like a 4 even, but it just doesn't. There's for some reason it just doesn't catch the I don't know. There's something about, maybe it's the chemistry of the characters that isn't there or something.
It's maybe 10 minutes too long.
Yeah, well, it definitely drags in scenes.
Yeah.
So.
But I would say to everybody who wants to watch this movie. And I guess to quote Suzanne at the very beginning, stay gagged with sour balls.
Yeah, definitely stay gagged with sour balls and have fun with your friends, and don't go to Whole House. So This has been another episode of Gag Me with a Knife. I'll say gag me with a spoon. It's totally 80s.
Totes.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
sensation, ecstasy, lying cross-checked in agony. Stigma to bleed continuously, posting hands and feet and feet for me. Stigmata, oh you sorry sight, stigmata in your splintered light. Look to your crimson orifice in holy remembrance in scarlet bliss. O nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sanctus. O nomine Patri et Filii